Last night, the baseball felt very normal. The Yankees are hitting 1,000,000 home runs. They're pounding a bad baseball team. Garrett Cole's dominating. The New York Mets stink. They can't get a big hit. They lose a game because James McCann doesn't know how to catch, and they don't want to fight. But then we also live in a world in which the basketball teams are both really good. And as Jet fans, we're optimistic. Even Joe is optimistic. Right, bro? You're feeling good about where we are?
It is stunning that I actually have a good feeling about the Jets, no doubt. Bro, how are you? What's going on?
I'm all right. I'm a little ticked off about the Mets last night, but outside of that, I'm all right, bro.
Has Lindor got a hit yet? Can he foul the ball off? How much? $30 million a year. Don't get me going. Don't get me started on him. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not happy with Lindor. I'll say that. I know it's only 20 games, but
Let's start in a good place. Let's start being positive because it has been a long journey of god-awful coaching, god-awful GMing. But I, like you, I feel very good about the last 2 days, and I feel very good about this coach, and it feels like this football franchise actually knows what it's doing right now.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more, bro. It's really stunning to say. Yeah, I mean, you actually think they got a management team that's got their head on straight. I love Saleh. I mean, look, he hasn't coached the game yet, but I feel the best about a Jet head coach. A hiring of a Jet head coach since Parcells in '97. I mean, there's something about this guy. I always liked him in San Francisco as a defensive coordinator. Look, he had something. And I was very upset when they let him out of the building initially. And I'm like, oh, my God, they're going to lose this guy? And then to find out the next day they hired him. So I'm very happy about that. Douglas looks like he knows what he's doing. And, look, the bottom line is this quarterback better be the right guy. I mean, it really comes down to that. I mean, Zach Wilson has to be the right guy. That's
it's funny? Dude, we said that 3 years ago about Sam.
I know it. But there's a totally different feeling, like you said, because it does seem like, Douglas and Saleh know what they're doing here. You really do get that feeling with the Jets right now.
Well, it's crazy. When they drafted Sam, and I think we were both pretty excited about that in 2018, they followed it up by doing nothing to put talent around him. I mean, you look at that draft that year in 2018, I think the only other offensive player they drafted was Chris Herndon, who stinks, obviously.
Right.
Following year was...
I will say this about Herndon. I mean, he still shows some flashes. I mean, I wonder about him. If you get the right coaching in here now, and maybe they have the right coaching now, that you might get a lot more out of this guy. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. No, I do. Because he does show flashes like he could be a player. I have to say that. I mean, he has shown flashes. I will say that.
I'll tell you, if the coaching staff gets something out of Chris Herndon in year 4, then you know what? I really believe they know what the hell they're doing.
Well, they haven't had a tight end since Mickey Shula. I mean, it's been, 35. Speaking of tight ends, they're a terrific tight end from the Super Bowl team. Pete Lamons passed away tragically a couple days ago. Boating accident, right? I think he was 77.
Terrible. Yeah, I just saw
he was
that,
a good player. That's it. Those are about the end of the. That's about the extent of Jet tight ends. Pete Lamons and Mickey Shula. That's about it.
It's just nice that this GM, and look, these guys have to turn out obviously good. Elijah Moore last night. We saw a little bit of Denzel Mims last year when he played.
Right.
But they're at least trying to put talent around this quarterback. And I thought that was one of their big failures around Sam. They didn't have good coaching. They didn't protect him. They didn't give him weapons. And right now, before Zach Wilson's ever played a game, that part feels different.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, you like what they did in the first round to trade up to get this guy, Vera Tucker. Hopefully Becton and him will be the left side of the line for a long, long time. I like that move. I was very happy they took the wide receiver here more in the second round. They need game breakers. This team needs offensive weapons. I mean, skill players. So I was happy about that. Yeah, I mean, so far everything is good. I mean, look, they haven't played a game yet. Saleh hasn't coached the game yet. Wilson hasn't thrown a pass yet. But you do feel good about the direction that they're going. You do feel good about it.
So to you, it was easy to move on from Sam? Like, you didn't have any second thought about it?
I really didn't. I mean, look, if they would have stayed with him, I would have been okay with that, too. I wouldn't have signed him for the extra year. I would have let him play the year out. But I would have been all right with that, too. But, look, they didn't draft him. It was obvious they want to go in their own direction. Douglas wants to hook his wagon to his own guy. And we'll see. Like I said, this Wilson just better be the right guy. How else can you say it?
Or else we're gonna do this.
We'll find out.
Or we'll do this again every 3 years.
Right,
I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, that's the thing that was frustrating when they traded Sam. I agree with you. It was probably time to move on. I was actually into trading for Deshaun, but we know that thing went absolute nowhere for many reasons.
Right.
But it's depressing that 3 years ago wasn't that long ago. And that's when they drafted Sam, and that's when we had all this hope that he's the answer. And it's just depressing that every 3 or 4 years we kind of end up having the same discussions about hopefully this is the guy.
Well, here's the problem with Sam. The coaching was horrendous. I mean, only the Jets could go from Todd Bowles to a worse head coach. And you and I we screamed about Adam Gase. We knew what was going to happen with Adam Gase. We yelled about it. God, we didn't want this guy. And to make that mistake, they set the franchise back again and really destroyed Sam Darnold. And look, Darnold has to take blame too. I mean, he didn't stay on the field all the time. And he wasn't, he had his moments. I mean, still throwing bad passes into double coverage and stuff like that. So you got, it's not like Darnold was lighting the world up, but the coaching was terrible. I mean, you couldn't get a worse head coach than Adam Gase.
And here's the proof in it. Sam got another starting job. He's going to start in Carolina.
Yeah.
He's reunited with Robbie Anderson, who you even said they shouldn't have let go.
Never let him go, right?
And it appears they have competent coaching. So we're going to get to find out. It'll be like a science experiment from far away if Sam could put it together. I think he's going to be good. I don't know if he's ever going to be a franchise quarterback, but I bet you he's a starter for the next 8 years in the NFL.
Hey, look, I don't care if Sam Darnold's good as long as Zach Wilson is good. As long as we win. Zach Wilson doesn't have to be the greatest quarterback of all time. Zach Wilson doesn't have to be a Hall of Famer. All I need Zach Wilson to do is win for me.
That's it.
That's it. Win. Don't make the big mistake. Win football games. He doesn't have to put up the biggest numbers. He doesn't have to do any of that. Just win football games. And dare I say, win us a championship while we're still walking the earth. You know what I mean?
That's it. Look, that's why we still talk about Joe Namath, because of the championship more than anything else.
Of course it is. You're looking at Joe, and look, Namath's my guy, but I mean, we're looking at Namath in a very different light if he doesn't, they don't win Super Bowl III. I mean,
right? Of course. So what are your then? I know there's still some offseason left, but obviously they were active in free agency. I liked a few of the things they did, bringing in Carl Lawson, moves like that.
I liked all the moves in free agency. They went low level, kind of under radar guys, and I like it. I like what they did, beefing up. Bringing Lawson in, bringing in Vinny Curry, taking a shot at him. Who knows? Maybe you catch lightning in a bottle with a guy like him for a year. A low-level guy, the linebacker they brought in from Detroit. Corey Davis, wide receiver. It's smart moves, bro.
Yes.
It's not the flashy. Give us Le'Veon Bell. Let's spend millions of dollars on him. Neil O'Donnell. No. It's not that kind of move. And that's again, it's the smart play. That's how I look at it.
It looks like with Lawson and Corey Davis, I feel like they sign guys who they think the best is yet to come.
Yes,
not
no
guys
question about it.
who have already given you their best, like Le'Veon Bell. And I think that's the hope with Lawson and Davis.
Yeah, I agree. And I think again, it's all going to be. It all comes down to the coach. If this guy turns out to be the real deal, Saleh. You like the coaching staff he's put around him. LaFleur, the pedigree with him and his brother and all of that as the offensive coordinator. If the coaching is the right coach, they're going to be a good football team. They are going to be a good football team. Whether the quarterback is great or not, they're going to be a competitive, good football team if you have the right head coach here. I think Saleh is going to be that guy. At least I hope he is. I hope so. But I think he is.
What are your expectations next year? Now we got a 17-game season.
They're going to be better than you think. They're going to be a better team than people realize they are. That's what I think. And hopefully the quarterback's going to be the right guy again. But I still think they're going to be a better team than people realize. I think they're going to have a solid defense. I understand the cornerbacks are not great. Hall and Blez Austin. It's not Mike Haynes and Lester Hayes. I mean, I get that. Okay,
Darrelle Revis, Antonio Cromartie.
Right. It's not that right. It's not. But I still think with Saleh, who is a terrific defensive coordinator, that the defense is going to be good. To me, it's going to come down to how good is the quarterback going to be? How good is the quarterback? It's all going to come down to that.
The division's going to be good, though. Buffalo,
Division's
I think,
good.
is legitimately good. Miami, I don't know what they're doing at quarterback, if they're sticking with Tua, if they're going to go trade for Deshaun Watson eventually. I don't know what they're going to do. But either way, they clearly have a coach. They clearly have a team.
And they got a ton of – look at all the draft choices. And I think the Jets made that move for Vera Tucker. They traded up to get ahead of Miami, who I think was going to take him at 16.
Yes.
You know, because they passed on Penny Sewell. They could have had him at 6. They passed on him to take the wide receiver out of Alabama. And I think they were going to take Vera Tucker with that 16th pick.
Don't you think the Dolphins got too cute, by the way? Instead of trading back, they could have just drafted Kyle Pitts, who everybody says is like the second coming, like the next great tight end in the NFL. And it feels like they got way too cute trading back, getting assets, and they didn't end up with what could have been, Look, I don't know what Kyle Pitts is going to be, but he's been the guy everyone's talked about as the, quote-unquote generational talent,
Well, I was surprised they didn't take the tackle, Sewell. I really was. I thought he was sitting there for them. I'm surprised they didn't take him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it has something to do with Tua and Waddle. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Whole Alabama thing. Who knows?
What about the Patriots?
They got a lot of draft. A lot of Patriots. Look, I mean, Mac Jones. I'll say this about Mac Jones. Okay, the feeling is he's going to be good, right? He's going to. He comes from Saban. He's going to the right situation with Belichick and all of that in New England, and you feel, okay, this guy's going to turn out to be good. The only thing I will say is that this generation of Nick Saban's Alabama quarterbacks, and I don't know what Tua Tagovailoa is going to be yet. I don't know, and I don't know what Jalen Hurts is yet either, because he's really an Alabama guy more than the 1 year he was at Oklahoma.
Right.
But so I don't know what they're going to be. But this generation of Alabama quarterbacks, Greg McElroy, A.J. McCarron, they haven't exactly been, name it and stable. You know what I mean? So I still wonder about how good those guys are. I don't know how good Tua is. I don't know how good Mac Jones is.
And I think there's this assumption that whatever Bill does is going to work out.
Right.
And look, I think he's the greatest head coach of all time. I understand that. But now he's got to prove he can win post Tom Brady. Let's go see him do it now.
Yeah. Yep. And they traded up again. Who did they take? They took that defensive tackle from Alabama. Alabama guy.
Another Alabama
guy.
They
took in the second round.
Yeah.
So
the division's going to be tough. That's the scary part about this team making a jump. The Dolphins are going to be good. The Bills are going to be good. And we'll see about Look, the Patriots won 7 games last year, despite the fact that Cam Newton was a shell of his former self. I'm sure the virus impacted him, just to give him that excuse, because I do think it's true.
But they lost a lot of guys. Well, God knows I don't want to defend them, but they did lose a lot of guys that opted out of playing. So they did have that on the defense. So they did have that situation.
What'd you think about the Giants? Gettleman trading back, getting a first-round pick next year.
I mean, let's be honest about it. The Eagles hosed the Giants twice in a very short period of time. I mean, and let's not exonerate the Cowboys in this thing either. I mean, we know what the Eagles did to them with laying down, taking, Peterson, who winds up getting fired anyway, taking Hurts out of the game and basically conceded the game to Washington, so the Giants don't win the division. And then they trade up because the Giants were taking the kid from Alabama.
Devontae,
there's no doubt about it. And now they trade up to host the Giants again. So if I'm the Giant fan, man, I hate everybody in my division even more.
Oh, I
agree.
Even more. I agree, but, dude, they got a first-round pick from Chicago, and I don't know how good the Bears are going to be this year.
Oh, yeah. No. That was
the
a good
trade back was awesome.
But I do want – no, I'm not knocking that. They're trading to the Bears took Justin Fields and getting a first-round pick again next year. I agree with that. That was a good move by Gettleman. But he only did that move because the Eagles made that move to get Smith.
No, I get you. I just think that
take Smith at 11. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
No doubt about it. I just think that could turn out incredibly well. I don't know how good this Kadarius Toney's going to be. I think Devontae Smith's going to be great. We also watched a lot of him. Let's be honest. Like he
also played in that machine in Alabama. I mean, that's why. I mean, look. I mean, there was 100 guys drafted out of Alabama. It's amazing, and they'll still be number one next year, even though they lose half the team to the NFL. But I mean, let's see. Let's see how these guys all turn out,
Well, I'll tell you, there's no excuse for Daniel Jones now. I mean, they have supplied him with a hell of a lot of weapons. Kenny Galladay, adding Tony in the draft,
and
Saquon coming back.
Barkley's back, right.
Yep. No excuse. He's got to be big this year.
Yeah, no, this is the big year for Jones. He's got to make it happen. Then they're in the same situation the Jets were with Darnold. I mean, you got to look eventually. You got to pay him coming up. So
this is it.
Yep.
And I think that's a part of it. And they now have an extra first-round pick next year. If Daniel Jones falls flat on his face, next year they go get another quarterback. They'll be in a position to trade up, having their own pick plus the Chicago pick. I think that's on their mind, too.
Yeah. I don't think you're wrong about that. I don't think you're wrong.
By the way, where do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to end up?
Oh, God. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. No, I mean, look, I know how great a quarterback he is, but give me a break. You know what, Aaron? Go win an NFC championship game, okay? And I'm tired of hearing it. Like, I don't want to hear it anymore. First it was, and obviously he's got his one Super Bowl, but that's a long time ago. That's 11 years ago. It's going to be now. I'm tired of hearing it. Oh, well, we got to get one of these NFC title games at home. Okay, well, you did, and you still lost. Okay, so I don't want to hear it anymore. He got Mike McCarthy fired. Couldn't wait to get him out. Now he wants to get out. Now LaFleur, I guess, is not so great anymore. Get me out of Green Bay. Give me a break. You know what? He's crying about them drafting the kid Julian Love. Go out and play. And I understand he's a great quarterback. He's a Hall of Famer. I no doubt. I'm not disputing that. But to me, I'm tired of hearing him cry.
Go host Jeopardy. That's going to be his threat against the Packers.
Right. I'm tired of hearing Aaron Rodgers cry. You know what I mean?
All right. Now, kill the Mets, because I am disgusted from last night.
Right.
Dom Smith should have had a fist fight with Jose Alvarado. I think every Met fan felt that way, and they can't hit. It's embarrassing.
Well, before we even get into that, you mentioned the fist fight. I never thought that this would be the case, but I got to give this guy props. I told you this off the air. I watch. The one thing I do watch sports-wise now, as far as any kind of show, is Sports Night. I said, why? Because I want to, just in case I missed something the night before, I want to see the highlights of this or whatever I want to do, and it's the New York bent on everything. The more and more, I got to give him credit. Am I agreeing with Sal Licata? Sal, you are right about 90% of the time. I mean, I got to tell you. And he's right last night, because he brought it up. He said, the 86 Mets they'd never let this happen. They'd never tolerate this. You'd have Darryl Strawberry walking out there taking on a whole team. Let's go. Give me everybody from Philadelphia. Please. So I don't want to hear. Ray Knight would be out there duking everybody. So he's right about that. Yeah. Go get him. They threw at you before. He hit Conforto. The same guy hit Conforto twice. First of all, he tried to hit him in the head the first time. Then he hits him the next pitch. He hits McNeil last night to start the inning. Go get him. Go after this guy. Please. And then he starts yapping. He was yapping last week when that happened with Conforto. Give me a break. Go get him. And as far as the team's concerned, let's start with Lindor. All right? I'm telling you. And I want to be wrong about this guy. I want to be wrong. Because I was not thrilled about this move to begin with. I wasn't thrilled about it. I wanted him to sign George Springer and leave Jimenez at shortstop. I like the kid. Leave him alone. Sign Springer. If that was the only thing they did in the offseason, I would have been happy. And can this guy start hitting? I mean, really, they paid him. He's making $30 million a year. You got this guy for how many years? All right? When's he going to start? I know it's 20 games. Can he start the freaking hit already?
He better start hitting soon. He's already hearing it from the crowd. He's already getting killed.
Just wait. This is nothing. Yeah, wait till there's more and more people in the ballpark. Wait, It's only 8,000. How many people it is right now? Just wait till everybody, there's, 40,000 people there.
Look, I like Lindor. I think his defense has been great. With that said,
I would have almost not paid him this year. I swear to God, I would have almost not paid. Okay, I'm not paying him. Let him earn his money. We'll worry about it later, and I guarantee he'd be hitting a lot more than he is right now.
I don't know. I mean, because maybe, and I understand sometimes in contract years, guys have big years, but some of these other all-star shortstops are not having big years who are free agents at the end of the year. It's not a lock. It's just that.
You're right. It's not a lock.
But what makes it worse is that nobody's hitting. Like, let's say Michael Conforto, who is one of the streakiest players in the world.
Nobody's hitting. Nobody.
If he was hot right now, if Alonso was hot, let's say the Mets were winning games. They weren't losing every game 1-0, 2-1. We'd be killing Lindor, but we'd be saying, all right, a little bit more time. But he's the face of the struggles because of the money, because he's new, because he's done nothing here. But the truth is, outside of Brandon Nimmo and a little bit of J.D. Davis, they all stink right now.
And you also got a bad taste in your mouth in the past with Cleveland infielders. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Carlos Baerga and Robbie Alomar spin through my head constantly. They constantly go around. It's like they go around when I see Lindor looking at a called third strike like he did last night, in a big spot. I mean, But you're right. I mean, nobody's hitting. Nobody's hitting right. J.D. Davis is hitting a little bit, although he got a couple hits last night. Then in big spots, he doesn't get a hit. He's hitting a little bit. Outside of that, you're right. I mean, Alonso's lunging at pitches 5 feet outside. It makes.
Well, you'll love this.
How about my guy McNeil? He's not hitting at all.
I know. Doing? Other than a couple of bombs, the home run on opening day, the home run.
What is he doing?
I think
the catcher, here's the other thing, too. How about the catcher? They bring this guy in. Don't sign Realmuto. Bring in McCann. Okay, let's get McCann because he's a great defensive catcher. Well, he didn't look so great defensively last night, and the guy don't hit. Big spot last night, first and third, one out. Double play, of course.
What killed me is the defense, because that's what you said. They brought him here.
But he's supposed to be here for defense, but he's not playing defense, and he's not hitting.
He's doing neither, and he cost him the game last night. Like, we could sit here and talk about the offense all day, and it's pathetic. But if James McCann catches a ball, which doesn't even hit his glove, the inning is over. Stroman probably goes 6 scoreless. The bullpen's been great, and maybe the Mets win a 1-0 game. Who knows? And they give up 2 runs on a pass ball.
Bro, the Red Sox scored. How many runs did the Red Sox score in 2 games? 3? What?
Yeah, it was crazy.
And, God, it wasn't Pedro and Clemens that were pitching in these games either.
No. Garrett Richards and Nick Pivetta, not exactly Pedro.
I mean, they can't score a run. I mean, it's ridiculous. They finally get a hit with runner in scoring position. Dom Smith rolls one through the left side of the infield. What, they go 1 for 12 last night with runners in scoring position?
Well, no. You're being too generous. 1 for 14 with runners in scoring position.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed.
And you know what the manager...
you know one guy that's hitting? DeGrom.
Yeah, exactly. He's the best hitter.
Him.
You know what the manager said to us this week? You're not going to believe this line.
What he said? How's he doing, by the way, Luis?
He's doing great. He's fantastic.
He's great.
So I say to him, this isn't 20 games. Because I don't look at the Mets' offensive struggles as 20 games. I look at it as 80 games. Because think about what happened last year. They couldn't hit. They had a great team batting average, great OPS. In a big spot, they stunk every time.
Yeah.
So I say,
and they're doing it again.
They're doing it again. So I say to Luis, very easy question. Hey, what's going on? 80 games now. He says a lot of the guys have a lot of anxiety with runners in scoring position.
Anxiety?
Anxiety?
Give me a break.
I have anxiety. You have anxiety watching this mess every night.
Yeah. I got anxiety for a lot of things, and I won't get into it. But give me a break. I mean, come on, anxiety. Please.
So do you?
If you got anxiety, you shouldn't be playing professional sports.
No, I know.
I'm sorry. You're going to have a lot. If you got anxiety, you shouldn't be in the professional act.
And if the anxiety is being caused by runners in scoring position, that's part of the game.
Right.
Please. Be honest with me. Do you think your Knicks can beat the Nets in the playoffs? Are you starting to believe that?
Do I think they can? Well, look. Let me say this, okay? And Tom Thibodeau. I mean, the statue should be being built already for this guy. I mean, what they have done, Leon Rose, Wesley, and all these guys, what they've done there is it's unbelievable. It really is. I mean, Julius Randle's turned into a star. Barrett's becoming a player. I talked to you about this off the air. How good has Derrick Rose been since they made the trade for him?
Great.
Quickly. You can't. They play defense. I mean, it's just it's great stuff. It really is. Can they beat the Nets in the playoffs? Probably not, but I'd love to see it because the Knicks would be in a total house money situation. You could not be more house money.
Yes.
And as far as the Nets go, and I nothing but the best for you and your net team. But boy, they are an unlikable team. I mean, can these guys? Do they ever play? I mean, is Kevin Durant? Can he play 12 games in 2 years? How much money is he making? Kyrie Irving. Oh, wait a minute. Something's going on at home. I can't play today. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing.
I'm a little constipated today. I can't play. I mean, give me a break, will you? Where's James Harden? I was praising James Harden about how good this guy has been. Where's he? Is it a witness protection program now?
He pulled a hammy. And Steve Nash isn't even sure he's going to be ready for the playoffs.
Where is
That's
he?
how
In Miami?
No, he pulled his hammy.
Oh, I know that. No, I know that.
No, he's actually...
He was in Miami.
No. He's actually traveling with the team, believe it or not. And his outfits every night are fantastic. But here's the thing, and I've always said this before, my team was a super team. None of this matters. Like, let's be honest.
No,
None of this matters.
Right.
They have to win an NBA championship. And if this is all about making sure Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are healthy when these games matter, and they're about to matter, we're 3 weeks away, and you bet your ass you're right with what you said. They better win it all. I don't think I've ever said that about any of the teams I root for. They better win it. And if they play your team, they better sweep them, okay?
Well,
better sweep them.
That would be a house money series for the Knicks. I mean, it really will. I mean, look,
I know
whatever the Knicks do. Look, they're going to make the playoffs. It looks like they're going to maybe. How about this? How about the fact that they may be hosting a first-round playoff series?
I think you are.
Advantage.
Dude, I got to tell you, I know they have a tough trip coming up with the way Atlanta's playing with the injuries they have. The Celtics are a bunch of frauds.
Right.
I really think you guys are going to get the 4 seed, which is remarkable.
And can I say this, too, with the Knicks? I'm begging the Knicks, please. When we get to the playoffs, can they please wear their home white regular uniforms in the playoffs at home? I don't care if they wear these stupid black uniforms that say the city never sleeps. I don't care if they wear them on the road. You want to wear them on the road in the playoffs? Wear them. I can't stand them either, but wear them. But please, when I put a game on, let me know that let me know right away that this is the Knicks. Okay?
I'm with you.
Don't let me wait 5 minutes to see. Well, wait a minute. This is the other team.
That's the one negative of the Knicks season because they really have had a great year. And as much as I don't like the team, they're very likable players. I mean, Julius Randle himself has been awesome. He's embraced the city. He's embraced the challenge.
It just shows what you can do if you look. These guys come into the league. Even R.J. Barrett. I mean, I think people were getting on him a little unfairly. The guy's 19 years old. Yep. I mean, come on. 19, 20-year-old kids going into the NBA. I mean, you can't expect. Not everybody's going to be LeBron walking into the league, or Kobe Bryant walking into the league at 18 and just being, the greatest player there is immediately. That doesn't happen.
Well, and also,
and Julius Randle's a perfect example. Look at what he's become, this guy.
And what Julius shows you, it's also about want. I mean, Julius Randle works his butt off. Like, Julius Randle has been obsessed with getting better.
Right.
So it's not just,
hey,
I got this raw God-given talent. It's, are you going to take it to the next level? And to Julius Randle's credit, because he wasn't good last year.
No.
I watched the Knicks last year. Julius Randle was the guy most Knicks fans forgot about. Obi Toppin was going to be the starting 4.
Right.
Forget Julius Randle.
Right.
And now he's become a star. And I think a lot of it is because he works his tail off, and he's earned it. So good for him. He's had a great year.
And Tom Thibodeau, there's not a lot of NBA coaches. We talk about this all the time. There's a handful of coaches in the NBA who actually make a difference, as far as I'm concerned. Well, Tom Thibodeau is on that short list because the job he's done with this team is just off the charts. I can't say enough about what this guy has done. I really can't.
So will you root for the Nets in any round, or have you completely turned on them because they're so unlikable?
They are unlikable.
Because you've always rooted for the Nets. I know back in the day, even before you met me, you liked them, the New Jersey Nets. But now, and I get it, they're an evil. I love them.
They wouldn't bother me as much if these guys would play all the time. I mean, it just bothers me that Durant, they made this move for the guy. They let him go a whole year without playing. Now he's going to play, and he hardly plays.
But why? But you know what, Joe? Why should he play? The Nets are a half game up on the 1 seed, and they want to make sure he's healthy.
Look,
the Raptors did it with Kawhi.
I have a lot of issues with the NBA. I've talked to you about this. I got a lot of issues with the NBA, but one of the things that really bothers me is the way these guys are treated. The fact that they have these maintenance days and they take time. Well, this was never the way it was. Michael Jordan, for all my feeling for Michael Jordan has changed dramatically. Okay. I look back at him, and in so many ways, I have tremendous respect for Michael Jordan. Tremendous. And the fact that this guy would go out, say whatever you want, and when these guys taking days off and maintenance and all this nonsense, this guy played every day. And he made the even in preseason games, he would go out there and play because he said somebody has paid their money that maybe this is the only time they're ever going to see me play in person. I owe it to them to play.
No, and it was great. And he did that for me. The first time I ever saw Michael play was a preseason game. He scored 50. It was amazing.
Right.
And I'm not saying you're wrong in theory, but what's the motivation of play?
I get it, but it does, bro, I can't say it doesn't bother. As a guy that's an old school guy that, watched the evolution of the NBA, became a Knicks fan in 1962, whatever it was, Richie Guerin and Johnny Green, Willie Knowles. It goes back that far. And to see, these guys played. I mean, the great players, they played 82 games a year.
Remember, almost a decade ago, baseball added the second wild card, and we loved it because it made division races matter. All of a sudden now, my advice to the NBA is make the regular season matter. You can't force guys to play. Incentivize being the 1 or 2 seed as a much bigger deal, because obviously being the 1 seed and having home court throughout is not enough.
It means very little.
So my advice to the league, and I don't know what the answer is, by the way, is do something to force guys to play because it matters enough. And I think that's the adjustment the league has to make, and we'll see if they're able to do it someday. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the only way you're going to do that is maybe shorten. Now, they got 72 games this year, is to shorten the season even more, but they're not going to do it. They're never doing that.
Too much revenue lost, yeah.
No, of course. No, that's not. But that's one of the things. That does bother me.
I have
to say, if these guys played all the time, I think I'd look at them differently. The other thing, too, is that they're just bringing everybody in. Blake Griffin, and they had LaMarcus Aldridge. I guess he retired now, right? Who's next? What, are they going to bring Allen Iverson coming back? Or what?
I love it. I know it ticks off everybody else, but as a Net fan who has suffered through Tony Massenberg and Armin Gilliam and Chris Gatling.
Don't get on Armin Gilliam.
No. I liked Armin. I'm just saying, they weren't superstars. Now
I know.
I'm enjoying every second of it. You know what I mean?
Hey, bro, I understand where you're coming from. I get it. I get it. Are you confident they're going to get to the NBA Finals?
They better.
No, I know they better.
They better. You know what? I don't know what to think, man, because, and I've said this to you before about the Mets and other teams, I've never seen any of my teams win a championship, so it's very tough to imagine that scenario. It's tough to imagine that moment, but talent-wise, I watch every minute of this team. I think one of the most underrated aspects of this team is how good their bench is. There's a reason why they're 43-21 and their stars don't play.
Right.
How are they winning all these games?
I agree. No, I agree with you there.
Because Sean Marks found a guy named Alice A. Johnson who put up a 20-20 game the other night. Because Bruce Brown defends. Because Joe Harris is underrated. Because Landry Shamit's a player. So I love this team. I think they're good enough. But to your point, they better win, because this would be a disaster if there isn't a parade in Brooklyn come July.
And Steve Nash, let's be honest. He's not exactly Pat Riley. You know what I'm saying? Here's what I'll say about Steve Nash, the coach. He was a great point guard. That's what I would say.
He was. Bro, good talking to you, man. Hit him straight today.
I try to hit him. As long as they don't hit me. They're not hitting me yet, bro. Hey, take care. The best to everybody. God bless. I'll talk to you soon, bro.
You got it, man. See you later.
All the love. See you.
The great Joe Benigno.